Hello, hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you were tuning in for the very first time, you're most definitely welcome. I go by the name of Kgomotso Malekane, and I do hope that you enjoy your stay here with us. And if you are coming back for more, thank you so much, Mutase. Like, I appreciate you. I think you know that already. Thank you so much. I do hope that we get to grow together as a family. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. I don't know where the button is, but somewhere, wherever it is, please subscribe. It's red, it's somewhere. Just subscribe. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you get to enjoy this video. So today's video was actually inspired by one of my friend's videos. So one of my friends dropped a video on her YouTube channel not so long ago, where she was talking about how she's really starting to see her mother as human, you know, and not as this super robot, superwoman, super thing that just does things for her, you know, at the blink of an eye and things like that. And it really inspired me so much, because I started actually reflecting on how I've actually been treating myself. So another thing actually that inspired this video, I think this video was inspired by a whole lot of things, is that just a couple of weeks ago we had a MOH at my church, where we met as people who serve in the church and things like that. And I remember one of the HODs of ushering actually saying that, you know, in order for us to be able to serve others, we need to start serving ourselves. And a lot of us, especially as Christians, you know, we always want to give, which is a good thing, but we forget to even like give to ourselves, you know. And it's not even about the big things, you know. Just run yourself a hot bubble bath every once a week, you know, and soak yourself in bath salts, you know, read a book, go watch a movie on the weekends every once in a while, go on a picnic, go on a solo date, go to the restaurants and just order and sit alone and eat and just enjoy your own company. And you know, I like that whole message penetrated so much. And also after just not so long ago, watching my one of my friends' YouTube channel, hearing her speak about that, I just really got a bit not triggered, but I got moved, honestly, by you know, these two different people saying these things that in a way are very different but still the same, you know. Because I think personally, for me, I've always been like, my emotion, I'm one person, I don't like to channel my emotions. I don't like to feel. I don't want to feel, especially if it's sad emotions. I'm not trying to get there. Like, I just want to be happy one way, like no return trip. Like, let's just be happy, you know. And whenever those emotions do come in and cave in on me, those emotions of feeling a bit sad, or feeling a bit uneasy, or feeling like I've lost someone, I've lost something, you know, and not even in a sense of them necessarily dying, but maybe them, you know, having to leave my life because it was a season for them to leave my life, whether the friendship ended or whatever the case may be, you know. I don't want to feel like, I just want to get the processes of it over and done with. Like, if I have to do the ending of the relation, I just want it to end. And it's just like, I don't want to feel, like I don't have time to feel. I remember when I was in grade 10, that's when all those emotions started coming in. And that's when I was actually introduced to therapy, when I was in grade 10, because I didn't want to feel, right? So in grade 10, I remember my therapist saying, actually I think in grade 10 I didn't even see a therapist, I saw a psychiatrist or something like that. I saw like the big boss of therapy, like the big ones, you know, because I was really going through it. And I remember him saying that you bottle a lot of things up, like you don't talk, you know. And that was so true, you know. And at that point in time, I think he was even asking a question that, like, why is that the case, you know? Why don't you even maybe write it down or things like that? And I didn't even have an answer, you know, apart from the fact that I just genuinely don't want to feel sad. I'm not trying to feel sad. And I think it's just a general thing across the spectrum. Nobody's trying to feel sad. Like, sadness is such a bummer, oh my gosh, you know. But that's the thing, God created us that way. He put in us, you know, those I don't know the scientific words, but you know, those parts of us where we are going to feel sad at some point, we're going to feel a bit down and out at some point, we're going to feel very happy at some point, we're going to feel, you know, a bit just okay at some point. He created us like that. And I don't think us allowing ourselves to feel those emotions is an injustice to him. And I think a lot of us have been feeling like that. I know for one that I have been feeling like, if I do allow myself to feel sad, I'm doing an injustice to God, and I'm being rebellious, you know, and I'm not being grateful, you know, like why are you sad? You know, you live in this gated community, you have both parents that do everything for you, you have siblings that love you, you have this, and you know, you can either measure it up to, you know, materialistic things or really valuable things like your family and health and things like that. But also, why it's a question that I have, is that why would God give us these emotions if he didn't want us to use them, or he didn't think that we would need to use them at some point? Why would he give us these emotions? And honestly, I think that's a question that most of us need to ask ourselves wherever we go into that spiral where we start feeling like I'm not supposed to feel sad. Is that you need to ask yourself that, okay, then why would God give me an emotion that has a bit of sadness in it, you know, that has a bit of happiness in it? Why would he give you those emotions? Because he wants you to embrace them, he wants you to feel them. But you know, I think also he wants us to also draw wisdom from him. How do we even navigate these emotions? You know, we need to also draw the line and have a balance that we cannot stay there forever. I don't think he wants us to stay there forever. And this also brought to my remembrance the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 to 8. I'm not going to read the verse, it's quite lengthy, yeah, so please go read the verse yourself, you guys. And it obviously talks about there being a season rather for everything in life. That in life you're going to go through a season of sowing, a season of reaping, a season of crying, a season of being joyful, a season. It speaks about all the seasons you can think of, like it leaves no stone unturned. But that's the thing, we need to also embrace those seasons and allow ourselves to feel. When you're sad, feel sad, it's okay. You know, you don't always have to be robotic about it and be like, no, I cannot feel, I cannot, you know, feel. Because then when you bottle all these things up, there's gonna come a point where you're gonna explode. And I don't think we want to get to that point. And I think that was my breaking point when I was in grade 10, when I exploded and I now had to be, you know, admitted, and it was just a whole thing, like it was just crazy, right? And you know, hallucinations and things like that, like you don't understand even how your body sometimes reacts to that. I never thought in my life I would ever hallucinate. I never thought hearing voices that are not there, that everybody else doesn't hear, is a thing. But it happened. When I was in grade 10, I experienced hallucinations. I was hearing voices. It was not weird, obviously, voices for me. I was hearing more like people praying. I was hearing like, it's like people from another dimension praying for me. That was what I was hearing. But also it's a form of being overwhelmed, you know. I thank God that I was hearing people praying and I was not hearing like weird things or seeing weird things. But also my body was not even supposed to get to that point. I was not even supposed to react to that point, but I drew myself there when I didn't allow myself to feel. And honestly, this December also, I almost went into that spiral when a lot of things were going on. Onto obviously just, you know, a few this past month, you know, that a lot of things were happening, a lot of changes were happening in my life where I had to withdraw from certain people, having to be okay that certain people let go of me instead, even when they did not, rather make me aware of that. Just having to be okay with the fact that some people don't even have to explain to me why they no longer want me to be a part of their lives like that. A whole other things happening, you know, the transition from being a full-time student to now staying at home for so long. It's quite frustrating. You know, all those transitions, it's like I was at a point in my life where I had a routine, where I knew where my life was going for the past 3 years. Now I feel like I'm at a standstill and things like that, and it's like, it's okay to feel that. I think the only problem is that we need to just have boundaries and know that don't stay in it, you know. I remember I saw this other quote. I don't know if I'm going to be butchering the quote or something like that, but it said, if it won't matter in the next if it won't matter in 100 years, don't spend more than 42 hours thinking about it. I remember and I started thinking to myself that honestly, if it won't matter, like in the next 10 years of my life, in the next 5 years of my life, why am I bothering like myself thinking about it so much, right? And I obviously will channel myself to withdraw and to stop feeling from it. But even when it doesn't matter, it doesn't mean that I'm not supposed to feel. But I just need to draw the line that, look, I cannot stay here. I need to be here, be present for the moment that I need to be present for, and get out of it. I've learned the importance of going to God about these things, you know, and being like, God, please allow me to feel. This is a season that's happening in my life, you know. Even when God is away, guys, we still need to explain these things to him in detail. You know, and that's what I've been doing. I'm like, this is a season that's been, you know, occurring in my life, you know, this is what's going on. Just list out everything as it is, and I ask you, Lord, that you allow me to stay in the season for the duration that you want me to stay in the season. I pray that you help me to not get myself out of the season forcefully because I do not want to feel, or force you to get me out of this season, or overstay my welcome in the season. So we need to stay in the confines of a season for as long as God wants us to stay. And you will know, obviously, when you have this, when you've already formed this relationship with God, that okay, it's time for me to get out of this, you know, it's time for me to now, no, I cannot be crying about it anymore. Honestly, no, I cannot be triggered by it anymore. I need to get out of this. I felt when it was time for me to feel, when it was time for me to cry, it was time for me to vent. I went through all of it, okay, but now it's time for me to get out of it, because I also didn't realize the importance of allowing every season to come. I also watched a short clip on Instagram that was posted by a Transformation Church. I remember it so clearly when Pastor Todd said that a lot of us will always ask God for peace, but when he brings a storm, we then get a bit overwhelmed. And it's like, how will you know if you really have peace if God doesn't bring the storm toward your direction? How will you know if if God's healing power is upon you if God doesn't bring that sickness? You know, how will you know if you are blessed beyond measure if God doesn't take a little bit of those things away from you, so that you can find the blessings even in nothing? You know, how would you know all these things? And that really blew my mind as well, and I was just like, that is so true. You know, it's like we ask God for all these things, but we don't ask him for the capacity to be able to receive when he does bring these things to our attention, or even for the wisdom to be able to, you know, navigate these things and know how would he want us to deal with it. You know, how can we see this thing from his perspective? But you know, yeah, that's really how I've been really feeling throughout these couple of months. And to be quite honest, the emotions were not consistent. It was a roller coaster ride, but for the most part, the sadness has been there, the crying has been there, the asking has been there, you know, the venting has been there, but I've been allowing myself to feel. And instead of, you know, channeling my inner robot self, I've been trying to really let go of her, and just really let go of her and just release her, because she's not good for me, okay? Because one thing about me, I'm not trying to hallucinate again. I think that's the reason why I've been really trying so hard to feel and allow myself to feel all these emotions and be like, yeah, you know what, I'm not okay, you know. And it's not every day, obviously, that when people would ask me on the phone, you know, and I'd be talking to my friends, it's not all the friends, my friends rather, that know how I've been feeling and things like that. It's just that one, you know, or my mom, for the most part, because those are the people that I share with and things like that, and have opened up that space for me. I don't want to go on and on in this video. I think the essence of this video for me is just to say to any of you out there who are feeling a bit, you know, neither here nor there, that it's okay. It's okay to not be okay, you know, and you're not being disrespectful to God, and you're not doing him a disservice by feeling, you know. The only disservice I think you'd only be doing to yourself is if you stay there too long, or if you try to hopscotch out of those feelings because you just don't want to feel like you just have a lot going on and you cannot feel right now. Like, I cannot tell you how to feel, but I think the best way is acknowledge where you're at, be okay with where you're at for the season that you need to be there for, and when it's time for you to evacuate or to, you know, get out of there, move out of that place and get into the new season of happiness, of growth, of whatever that is, because there is a reason why God puts us through all these seasons. He is channeling parts of us that we probably won't even know in that instance, but there will come a point in time where you're sitting in a board meeting, or you have a family, or you know, I don't know, whatever the case may be, and you will start thinking back of those seasons and, oh, so that's why I went through that. It's to prepare me for all of this, you know. So yeah, I've always seen every test as preparation, you know. And yeah, I don't think I want to say more. I don't want to go on and on and on. But honestly, you guys, all I can say is that we're all going through something, and it's just important to be kind. I think that's a message that's been preached so much on social media, because we know how vile, certain people can be on social media, and how insensitive certain people can be on social media. But it is really important to be kind, and not only to other people but to yourself, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. So how you treat other people is how we see you as viewing yourself. So it is very essential that when you are kind to other people, be sure that you're being also kind to yourself. And just don't be mean to other people. If you're mean to yourself, just don't be mean to other people. Please, 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 please. Because you never know if you are that person's last straw to literally end it or do something out of this world. Because at the end of the day, we all will account for somebody, because we are accountable for somebody in this world. I think that's something that also we don't want to tip into, is that you are accountable for a life in this world, whether it's the people around you or the people that you're going to meet as you grow, but you are accountable for the people around you, that's for sure, and the people that you get to meet along the way. So anybody that has an encounter with you, you're accountable to them. So how you've treated them or how you treat them, you will have to account for that life. So whatever happens to that life, you have to account. So be sensitive. Be sensitive to the people around you, the people that you meet. Be sensitive to yourself also. Be kind to yourself. Therefore, it's easier when you do these things for yourself. It's easier for you to start pouring in that love, because you are not searching from a place of lack, when you're already filled within yourself. You're searching from a place of contentment and a place of fulfillment. So therefore, when you give out this love, when you give out these words of wisdom and encouragement, you come from a place that is already full. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna end this video here, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I just wanted to just say this, you guys. I think we're still on the early days of the year. I feel like it's still the early days of the year. We still have a long way to go. We have a long way to go. So I just wanted to bring this video to your guys' attention, that just in case there's ever a point throughout the course of this year or during the duration of this year that you feel a bit uneasy, that it's okay. It's okay. Just don't stay there. That's the only thing that I need from you. Don't stay there for too long. Don't overstay your welcome. Don't understay your welcome. There is a reason why you have to go through that. That's all, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. Thank you so much for coming until the very end. I really hope that it does make a difference in your guys' life, as much as all this internalizing and the studying has made a difference in my life. Thank you so much, you guys. I do hope that you guys have a wonderful day.